The new Sound of Clash medal event is officially in the game, and today I'll be telling you everything you should spend your medals on, whether you are a free-to-play player or you have the event pass. I'll be ranking every equipment you can buy from the Electro Boots, the Frozen Arrow, Dark Crown, Heroic Torch, and Snake Bracelet, and of course the brand new Rocket Backpack, so that way you can decide which equipment is best to choose that fully suits you and your armies. Now right out the gate, it's important to know how many medals you have, whether you are a free-to-play or you have the event pass. As a free-to-play, you get the 3,100 medals plus the 200 bonus medals at the end of the event track, which brings your total to 3,300 medals, allowing you to buy one equipment as a free-to-play player, or of course the decorations or ores. And with the event pass, you get an additional 5,500 medals, which allow you to buy two equipments instead of the only one, or of course just one equipment and a bunch of extra ore like the starry ore or glowy ore. Now the main question I'm going to be asked is the Rocket Backpack actually worth it? Is it worth spending the ores on? Should you even get it? Should you upgrade it? My answer is yes, but there is a but. If you're using the Fire Heart and the Stun Blaster equipment, those work perfectly fine, but the Rocket Backpack allows you to attack in a slightly different way. You can combine the Rocket Backpack with the Giant Arrow, with lightning spells, with quake spells. It allows for different types of plays in different attacks. Like you can use it in ground attacks, you can even use it in air attacks. I feel like it'd be good for sniping out like the Revenge Tower, Monoliths, Spell Towers especially, and like I said, ground or air. A lot of people think that the Dragon Duke is only good for air, but it is used in a lot of ground attacks right now. It's used in super boulders, throwers, super witches. The thing about the Rocket Backpack though is if you're trying to make some kind of crazy play across the base in Legend League, it's kind of hard to tell currently, but especially in Clan Wars, Clamor League, even like esports, I can see this becoming a lot more used. But Legend League, it could be kind of interesting, right? Because a lot of people might think it's situational. I do think it's worth getting. However, if you want a super safe option, I'm going to rank the other equipments for you. I do think Rocket Backpack is worth it, but if you do not have the other epic equipments, it's important you actually consider these first before you go with the Rocket Backpack and invest all of your ores, which we already know is hard to get. So the number one equipment I'm going to recommend you pick from the medal event is going to be the Electro Boots, right? If you don't already have the Electro Boots, I highly recommend you consider these. The Electro Boots are literally the best world champion equipment for the RC. It is the most versatile equipment. It allows the world champion to kill all of these skeleton traps, all of these squishy troops. It does damage over time. RC charges are definitely going to come back into the meta at the higher town halls because the bomb hive is gone. And yeah, you can pair the Electro Boots with the Rocket Spear, Frost Flake, Hog Puppet. It works with pretty much every equipment. It's the most versatile one. It's literally like S tier equipment, one of the best equipments in the game of all time. So definitely recommend buying the Electro Boots if you do not have it already. For the number 2 spot, it kind of depends, right? We have the Snake Bracelet and the Dark Crown in this selection here. So the Snake Bracelet is really good for both ground and air attacks. It's used on the King with the Spiky Ball for the outside of the base, right? For the funneling and the damage, you use the Snake Bracelet with the Spiky Ball and the Queen to go on the outside, or he just kind of goes on the outside with the World Champion. And different smash attacks, even in air attacks with Electro Dragons, with regular dragons. It's just good overall to get the extra tanking, extra damage. The base stats are very good too. The hit point increase is one of these stats that got overlooked for a while on this equipment, but yeah, don't get mistaken by just the snakes, how they're squishy and they just die. When they're on the outside of the base of the King, a lot of tanking with the Spirit Fox allows him to stay alive for most of the attack as long as he's on the outside, plus the attack speed increase. All the base stats are very good, so Snake Bracelet is definitely probably going to be number 2 besides the Electro Boots. And the reason why I was kind of in the middle of putting number 2 either Snake Bracelet or Dark Crown is Dark Crown is very good for dragon attacks, right? Now currently a lot of people are using the Meteor Staff because it's really good with Electro Dragons and it's really good with Dragon Riders, which Electro Dragons and Dragon Riders are currently the meta currently, but when dragons get a new level, I feel like Dark Crown is going to make a really big comeback. The reason why Dark Crown is so good with dragons is because dragons have 20 housing space and you only need, I think, 120 housing space total to actually get the full boost. So dragons, you know, they kind of don't need to all be alive. They die slowly and it allows the mini prince to be fully buffed up, whereas like for example the Electro Dragons, they're very slow, they have a lot of HP, so you don't really want to use Dark Crown with them. You want to use like the Meteor Staff. Same thing with the Dragon Riders, use Meteor Staff for those kind of attacks, but Dark Crown is very good for dragon style attacks. So if you do want to use RC Charge and dragons, I recommend you pick up the Dark Crown if you do not already have it. Now the last 2 equipments are going to be the Heroic Torch and the Frozen Arrow. Now the Heroic Torch is a very solid equipment. It's good obviously with ground attacks. You wouldn't really want to use this with air attacks, even though the speed increase is nice. Just use the Rage Gem for air attacks, but when it comes to ground attacks, it is nice. A lot of people are using it for Meteor Golems. You can use it with Super Witches, you can use it with Throwers, you can use it with really any smash army you want. The speed increase is nice. The duration is like 30 seconds, which is pretty long. And yeah, it's a solid equipment for what it is, but honestly, Heroic Torch is a very niche equipment in a sense of all you have to really do as an attacker is have good funneling. You don't really need the heroic torch, I would say. Like, it's good at what it does, right? It's good at getting into annoying bases. It's good for all your troops staying together and going, you know, into the base. But like at the same time, you don't really need a heroic torch if you know how to funnel, if you know, keep the king on the outside with the snake bracelet, like I was saying earlier, with the royal champion or the queen to support the army going inside. If you open up with like a flame flinger, RC charge, right? A surgical with E-drags even, you don't really need the heroic torch. Well, not E-drags or the heroic torch, but you know what I mean. You can get it if you don't have it, but if you're not planning on using it, you can probably skip it. It did become meta a little bit at the beginning of Tunnel 18, but it's not really used anymore. Is it a trash equipment? No, it's definitely solid after the buffs, but it's just not meta currently. Same thing can be said about the frozen arrow. When the frozen arrow first came out at Tunnel 16, it was definitely meta because of queen charges. Queen charges are very popular at Tunnel 16, even slightly into Tunnel 17, but the thing is, queen charge is just not really meta anymore, right? We have, for example, the long shot. You know, a lot of things outrange the queen. Fire spitters outrange the queen. The healers, you know, they get locked onto when it comes to like the town hall from Tunnel 17. So frozen arrow is not a bad equipment by any means. It's just not like on the level of giant or the action figure and the magic mirror or the giant arrow, right? It's not as versatile. It's only really good for queen charges. So I guess if you like playing queen charges, you can go with the frozen arrow, but same thing with the heroic torch. It's not really necessary and it's not really meta or one of the best in my opinion, at least currently. But of course, if you already have all of the equipment you need, like the ones you're actually using, and you want to invest in ores, I recommend you buy either the starry or the glowy ore. Shiny ore is just not really worth investing your metals into because shiny ore is the easiest ore to get. I guess it's kind of up to you, but I recommend buying at least the starry ore or the glowy ore. It's definitely worth it for, you know, buying as many ores as you can when it comes to starry because it's the hardest to get in the game. The two new decorations, the Barbble head and the face melter, honestly, they just come down to you. Do you really like decorations? Are you a collector? You know, this one's a static decoration, but this is the super decoration. When you click on it, it bobbles the head and there's fire that comes out. So pretty cool, but decorations do really come down to personal preference, whether you like them or not. And last but not least, we have the magic items. We have the builder potions, which are a pretty solid price for what they are. Honestly, you might be better off buying them with Clammerly medals because 30 Clammerly medals is pretty cheap for what they are, but I guess you can invest into some builder potions if you really wanted to. I do recommend you buy the starry ore, but builder potions are an okay price, I guess. The only book I recommend you buy is the Book of Heroes because it's 1,030 and the rest of the books are pretty expensive, 1,900. I don't think the Book of Building or the Book of Fighting is worth it. I mean, I guess maybe it's worth it to you if you have a really long upgrade for like 12 days, but I recommend Book of Heroes because you can get quite a bit of them. If you buy like an equipment, you can get like 3 of them, which is what is for offer here. Same thing with the Rune of Elixir and Rune of Gold. These aren't really worth it because of the way farming is. Now, I like getting runes because I'm kind of lazy, but I would never buy them with metals, right? I just go and farm the loot. If I get runes from like the gold pass, that's nice, but when I actually spend gems or spend metals buying them, I just don't think they're worth it, so you can skip these. Shovel of Obstacles are kind of whether you need them or not to, you know, move decorations. Wall rings, obviously same case as loot, and runes, you don't need to get these because you can just go and farm. Power potions are pretty worth it, I guess, if you want to use them during Clamor League or War Attack, so that's up to you. Research potions are pretty solid too. Pet potions are pretty underrated. The resource potion is cheap, but same thing with loot, you can just go and farm. One underrated pickup is the Clock Tower potion because these allow you to get the 6 builder faster in builder base. If you don't know for any reason, you can actually get 6 builders in Clash of Clans. Currently you have 5 that you can buy with the gems, but you can get a 6 builder in builder base, and using the Clock Tower potions to boost up your builders in builder base is really helpful to get that faster. And then of course we have the clan house decorations. These are really up to you if you like the clan house decorations or not. And then last but not least, we have the gold elixir and dark elixir, which you can spend the metals on. But that pretty much sums up the entire metal event and what you should buy. Let me know what you guys are going to be buying in the comments, or if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. Like if you need something specific answered for your town hall level or what army you're using, like for example, maybe you're using dragons, you're not really sure if you should buy the dark crown or snake bracelet, you know, comment down below what town hall you are, what situation you are. Maybe I can help you by commenting back and giving you some suggestions. If you guys do decide to buy the event pass this month for the extra ores and equipment, don't forget to use code TERMI if you want to support the channel. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video or stream, and until then, I'm out. Peace.